Hello, I'm Marianne Van Dorsler and I'm talking to Di from Laurastar about one of the most disliked household chores, and that is ironing. Well, keep watching because we're going to change your opinion. Hello to you, Di.
Hello.
Now, I have a Laurastar at home and I love it, but it doesn't look like this one.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
We're very excited about this one. This is our very latest model. It's called the Magic S4 and it's absolutely out of this world. What you see is what you get. It's a totally integrated system, so it all comes as a set.
Right.
And it's as easy as filling up this water vessel. This is removable, so you take this to the sink, fill it with water to the line. There's actually a little line there that shows you maximum. Then you place it back in position.
Is that why it's beeping? Because you've taken it away?
It's telling us, feed me again.
Put me back.
Then there's one switch, just turn on one switch. And in only 3 minutes, you'll be up to steam, and the steam is incredible. 50 pounds. Constant steam and dry steam, which means that it's not going to leave any residual moisture in your fabrics. Now the other thing is you never run out of steam, because if you've been ironing for perhaps an hour or so, this will start beeping at you like it did a moment ago.
Right.
And all you have to do is refill the tank and keep going. At no time do you run out of steam.
Oh, so you don't have to stop, let it heat up or anything like that?
No.
It's continuous?
The steam's in a separate vessel at the bottom, so even when you fill the water, you still have steam. So you just continue to go, which is great.
And you talk about dry steam. What do you mean by dry steam?
Well, this technology is exclusive to Laurastar, and dry steam is simply double heated steam. The steam's heated in the boiler to 50 pounds of pressure per square inch. Then it comes up through the steam tube and it's heated again in the sole plate of the iron. There's a labyrinth in there. So that means very little moisture.
And obviously it doesn't burn you.
No, no. And as I said, doesn't leave any residual moisture in your fabrics. So, you know, when things wrinkle again, it's usually that the air is drying them. With Laurastar, it doesn't happen because it doesn't leave that residual moisture. No re-wrinkling on clothes.
Well, we know that Laurastar does a lot better job than the traditional common iron at home, but perhaps we should show our viewers exactly how it works.
I think we should.
Okay.
One of the things that a Laurastar will enable you to do, and it's because of the quality and the dryness of the steam, is iron vertically. So the dreaded suits, I mean, so many people run off to the dry cleaner and have their suit done, you know, particularly business people are having this done all the time. But when you have a Laurastar, it's as easy as that. Run the iron right up close to the fabric, and you'll see that that just allows the creases to fall out. So what the steam does, it opens the fibres, the creases are relaxed, and it also leaves the fabric very, very dry.
Yes, I'm amazed at that. And it is just like you've come from the dry cleaners.
It is. No shiny seams, as you would get if you ironed it normally. In fact, it is like the dry cleaner. The technology is very similar. I think too many times your clothes need re-grooming, refreshing, rather than actually cleaning. And so that's what Laurastar does at its best.
So this could save you a lot of money.
Oh, easily 70% of your dry cleaning bills are gone.
Wow, that is impressive. All right, well, that's the suit jacket we've talked about. What about something like, if I just pop into my little pantry there, something like a silk shirt? Surely that's going to be a big challenge.
No, a lot of people buy silk and then they're terribly afraid of the actual pressing process. They put it in the freezer, they do all sorts of tricks. Laurastar will iron every fabric like new, absolutely beautifully, but we have actually reached the part of the technology that I like the best.
Right.
And this is Swiss technology at its finest.
And I might say too that Laurastar only make irons, don't
they? Do. All of their technology and development goes into irons, so they're not spreading it around. They really got it right. I've had my Laurastar over 10 years and it was perfect then, but they've so
keep
many
developing.
And here's one of them.
Okay,
and this is what I love. My original one wasn't like this. There's a fan under here, so it's called an active board. All you do is give one little tap on the steam button and away goes the fan. Now what that's doing for you, isn't it impressive?
Very professional looking.
It is, but it's very, very handy as well, because that stops you ironing unwanted wrinkles in. In fact, I could look up and watch television or talk to the family.
That is amazing.
You don't have to be so attentive. So it organises and manages the fabric, keeps it out of the way of the iron, and it has another benefit in that it cools and dries the fabric. So you end up with something that looks as good as that, as quickly as that.
As quickly as that as well. That's really impressive technology. And this is the latest model called the Magic S4.
That's right.
All right. Well,
shall I show you this area?
Oh, please.
This would probably be, well, it breaks your heart because as you're ironing here, you're getting creases and pleats everywhere.
Frustrating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pick it up, you do it like that. And then you'll have beautiful soft gathers, which is exactly what this shirt's meant to look like.
Exactly.
We do have one other area on this shirt that's probably, I would say, the biggest challenge. With a normal, common household iron, this would be impossible. With Laurastar, I don't want you to blink because you'll miss it. That's how quick it is.
Let's have a look.
I prefer to put a little tap of air under, so one little tap and then blow. Blow the steam down and voila. That's done. No crease down the sleeve, absolutely perfect every time.
It's such a professional finish, but we all can achieve it at home.
We can. Now, Laurastar, I started to talk about how long it's been around. Overseas, over 20 years. Over 1 million Laurastars have been sold. So what a success story is that? That's in Europe, and in Australia, over 50,000.
Fantastic.
World's finest ironing system.
Oh, the word will spread, I'm sure. Now, that's the silk shirt. Now, I've got another challenge for you. I have 3 males in my household, so denim is always such a chore, and I need such muscles to get it to look, you know, nice and ironed.
Well,
what do you have to do?
With a normal iron, of course, but denim, I'll put denim, table linen, bed linen, all in the same category. They're all flat. They can, in actual fact, be ironed layers at a time. So I'm going to put these 2 legs together.
All right.
And as you said, you normally have to put your shoulder in, really work hard.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you another aspect of this fabulous active board. What I showed you before was a quick tap. So that blows, that's the inflation.
Right.
What you do for jeans though is make the board into a suction board. So leave your finger longer on the button. See that go down?
Yes.
So that's now sucking the steam down. So you've not only got this wonderful 50 pounds of pressure, but you've also got the fan working with you to draw the steam down through the garment.
I see, I see.
So instead of pushing here,
it's already drawing it.
yes, and you just leave your thumb on there. Now look at the effort that I'm not putting into doing these jeans. In fact, I'd love you to have a go. Just thumb on. Notice 2 buttons, Marianne. If you're left-handed, you use the other button. So they both have the same purpose.
It's like a hovercraft.
It is like a hovercraft, isn't it?
I don't need any muscles at all for that.
No.
Look at that.
So half the time, half the effort, and an extremely professional result with every garment that you iron. Now, there is a slightly better way. The best technique is actually to go forward with steam, come back with the dry iron on the same path. What that does for you, the steam opens the fibres, relaxes all the creases, but the dry iron sets it that way. And the results, look what you've done.
It goes through.
You've done 1 leg, you've done 2 legs. All the way through.
All the way
4
through.
layers.
No flipping over time after time after time.
And the bottom layer is just as good as the top, so it's a perfect result every time. I'd love to show you the top too, because these, Laurastar gives you a lot of choices. You can pull these over the end of the board, but my preferred way is flat.
Yes.
Now, even though there would be, I would estimate 6 layers of fabric there, look how that's sucking all the way through again.
So it's actually drawing down below.
So that's what the fan's doing for you. It's dragging that steam down right through to the very bottom layer.
This is impressive.
Perfection.
This is very, very impressive indeed.
Isn't it?
Now, you just love ironing, don't you?
I do, with my Laurastar. Even table linen, Marianne. As I said, with the jeans, 4 layers is not a problem. Do you know there's no smoke and mirrors here, and we know that, but I'd like you to know that too. What you see is what you get. And 4 layers of a cotton.
Linen.
This is, well, it's actually a very heavy cotton, and the whole lot will be done at once. Go a little bit slower, dry it off, and you'll be very surprised when you see the results, because it's not just 1 layer. 1 layer is done, and the second, and the third and the fourth, and perfect even to the bottom layer.
Incredible professional looking ironing in half the time. What about storing a board like this?
It stores very neatly. In fact, mine's in the broom cupboard where my old original ironing board used to be stored.
Oh, really?
Folds up very well.
Okay.
Turn the iron back the front, it's easier to pop it away. There's a delightful little box at the end, tucks away very neatly. Snug.
That nice Swiss design again.
Yes, so little people in the house can't possibly touch that. It's very safe.
Good point.
Turn the cord minder over, just lay it down on the board so it fits in there.
Excellent.
Now this board has 6 height adjustments, so I'll show you the very bottom one. There's a little lever. let it right down.
For our short people.
So there's the tiny ones.
Yes.
But have a look how high it goes. Just lift it right through to this height.
That's for your basketballers.
Yes.
That's very high.
I
It's
honestly
fantastic.
think it's the highest board I've ever seen.
I'd say
and
so
we
too.
recommend that you pop it up to that height before you fold it.
Okay.
Then put your fingers in a little slot that's provided for you just for that purpose. Tip and step to your left. Ease the board down, and then look what they've done. Wheels. So you can easily roll it around from one room to another
So
very
no
easily.
lugging under your arm and all the rest. Again,
Great for storage.
yes, for people who can't manage heavy objects and things, it's
They've
fantastic.
truly thought of everything, haven't they? Then when you stand it, I love
Yes,
this too.
how do we stand
There's
it back
wheels
up?
on the other end. It actually has a knee joint, so it's very easy to fold and stand. So unfold, put it down onto those wheels. See how it just rolls right
Yes,
back into
rolls.
position? And then you lift the board and you can easily roll it in that position as well. So you might want to reposition yourself in the room.
Okay, so we height adjust again on this.
Height adjustment, yes. So for you and I, the very best, I like to put it down because I know that I'm 3 clicks from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3
Right.
is just right for me.
Right.
So everyone gets used to their own height very, very quickly.
Okay, fantastic.
And once a month, there's a little bit of maintenance required, but when you see how easy it is, you've got a tray in there. Would you mind passing it to me?
So you have to do this at home once a
Yes,
month.
once a month. How easy, and this is the only thing you need to do. Place the tray on the floor.
What are we doing? You're flushing out
Flushing.
the cavity
Now,
there.
with a normal iron, all of the calcium is in the iron, and of course that blows over your clothes, and it's dreadful.
Yes.
The calcium actually forms in the tank. When you turn the machine off, it'll drop like a powder into the bottom. So you've got to get rid of that. So all you have to do, remove the water vessel, and this is such a clever design. I love it. This turns into a funnel. So you undo a cap in the very bottom, undo a cap in the top of the boiler, and then place the funnel in that hole that you've just made.
I
So as
see.
you can see,
Oh,
that's
yes.
a funnel shape. Place the water vessel on top. There's a little spike and there's a valve underneath, so that just, once that goes in, rushes the water through. So it's as easy as that.
So then that's cleaned and you just refill it again.
So that's it as far as maintenance goes.
And that's about once a month, and that's all you need to
Approximately
do.
once a month. Most households would iron for roughly 10 hours a month, and that's all we recommend. So the job's done very quickly and
And if
easily.
people aren't sure, you have a helpline and everything to call as well, don't
We do.
you? Tired of ironing the old-fashioned way? Conventional irons produce little or no steam, drip water, and can scorch your clothes. Now with the Laurastar Magic S4 from Switzerland, you can achieve professional ironing results in half the time. With a powerful 50 pounds of constant steam pressure, the exclusive double-heated steam system, and the amazing active board, the Laurastar Magic will iron all garments quickly and easily. Now you can vertically iron the creases from suit jackets, press woolen trousers without shining, iron 100% cotton business shirts, leaving them looking crisp and wrinkle-free. With the Laurastar, there's no need to change the temperature setting. By just adding our soft-pressing sole plate, you can now iron all your delicates, like silk, rubber transfers on T-shirts, nylon and synthetic garments, and eliminate burning and scorching forever. With the quality Swiss-made Magic S4 from Laurastar, you can achieve professional results on all garments in half the time. Now you can see the Laurastar Magic S4 demonstrated at David Jones stores Australia-wide.
I've had my Laurastar for 3 months now. I cannot believe how much easier it is to use this system in comparison to other systems.
I have a large family and I do a lot ironing. Since I purchased Laurastar, cut my ironing time and a half, and I spend more time with my family.
I'm the wardrobe mistress at our kids' school, and I get to iron some fairly awkward costumes. What I like about the Laurastar iron is that it helps me iron faster and easier than my old iron used to do.
With a family of 3 grown men, you can imagine how many business shirts I have to iron every week. But since having a Laurastar, I find it a breeze. It's the best investment I ever made, and I'd recommend it to anybody.
And I really, really love it, and I would recommend it to anybody.
This is an investment you won't regret. You'll cut your ironing time in half, save money, protect your clothes, and achieve professional ironing results just like your dry cleaner in your own home. Laurastar, you deserve the best. Now, Di, you said before that all fabrics are ironed on the same temperature. Now, are there any exceptions to that?
None whatsoever. The beauty of this product is, rather than turning the temperature down
And waiting.
and worrying, all
Yes.
you do is apply a soft pressing sole plate that comes with the S4, and to apply it, it's as simple as front of the iron in, pull the little elastic, and away you go. As soon as you apply that shoe, you've lowered the temperature of the iron by half. So when it comes to synthetics, all of the things that your brain already is warning you, be
Don't
careful,
iron.
bridal gowns, all of it, you know, christening gowns that might be 100 years old, no worries anymore. This says do not iron. This is 100% synthetic, as is this scarf. Now, they just look terrible unless they're ironed, and with a common household iron, you really are in trouble. Pop on the shoe. Another good thing is that the steam holes actually line up with the steam holes in the base of the iron, so you have the steam
But not the really
heat.
high temperature.
That's right. So straight on there, straight over to here. Any dark colours like your blacks and navies that would ordinarily shine,
Yes.
that doesn't happen either. And I think every second garment that you buy now, very pretty, lots of sequins, lots of beads.
Oh, yes, and beading and
with a
frills
common
and
iron,
lace.
again, you're in trouble. But straight over them, I'm actually touching them. The iron's right on them, and as you can see, there's no dramas.
No damage, nothing.
So it's just a drop in stress levels. Your blood pressure won't go up when you're ironing. The other thing I love about the shoe is the fact that you don't have to sort your ironing. You just take it, pop the shoe on, take the shoe off, because it's as easy as on, off whenever you need it.
Well, I imagine you would also use the sole plate dye for these T-shirts with logos on them.
Yes.
I mean, they often melt, they often slip, and you end up smearing it on the T-shirt. The sole plate would be good for them?
It is indeed, and it saves such a lot of time, because ordinarily you turn this inside out. They're really sticky little frogs on there.
Yes, you
and then
feel
by
them.
the time you turn it back, it needs
ironing.
re-ironing. The other thing with T-shirts, and I'm sure you'll recognise this as soon as I show you, as you iron them, so they stretch.
Yes.
So interlock and T-shirts and so on. So you do spend a lot of your time organising that garment.
Right.
This is where the fan is. It does all the work. Just a quick tap. Blow the board up again so we have it on inflation, and this hand could go to sleep because it won't let you iron a crease in. So how simple, and a beautiful, delightful finish. I have to tell you, that is my favourite thing. The results that you get are just
From the inflation.
so far better. Now, they have left no stone unturned. See these lines?
Yes,
These are
on the board.
actually fold guidelines. So when you finish the T-shirt, follow this line, follow this line.
Need to teach my sons this.
Yes, they would love it. This is for the really fussy people among
Everybody
us.
would love ironing with this.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter whether they're his, hers, the children's, they'll all look exactly the same in the drawer, neat as a pin. Beautiful.
So all the perfectionist housekeepers will love this too.
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
what about trousers? Because men's suit trousers, or women's for that matter, with all the pleating and things.
Yes, they're really a nightmare if you haven't got a Laurastar. I can't even think back that far. Lay them on the board,
Right.
feel where the crease would like to be, and it doesn't really matter if you're offline, because the steam will set in a beautiful new crease wherever you want to put it, but try and line them up. Use the board on suction, because
okay.
that steam will now go through right up with steam and then come back on the same path with a dry iron. That sets a beautiful sharp crease, and when I show you, you'll be blown away, because look at that. That's knife edge.
Again, a professional result, just like that.
At home. It is like you've got a little dry cleaner in your own home in a way, isn't it? When you do the top, this is probably the most challenging, all these creases
Yes,
here.
and you often get that pocket line with the trousers.
Now
but
with
not
a
here.
normal iron, there would be a cloth over there, so you're ironing blind and you end up with a really crooked pleat. This is just an extension of the iron. So puff the board up, so then you don't get the mark from the pocket, and you certainly don't get an imprint of the actual little pleat. So once again, professionalism is the key word, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, Di. Now, look at that result. Look at that. Now, shirts. I'm sure everybody watching this will say, what about shirts? There's casual shirts, school shirts, sports shirts. You can iron so many shirts in a week. What about some tips for doing that a bit quicker?
Probably the basket would have more shirts than any other garment. And a shirt is a really good way of tying together what the fan features and benefits are. For example, the collar's double, so
Yes.
you use the fan on suction. So it will drag the steam, this beautiful steam, all the way through. So start on the point, go over with the steam and come back with a dry iron. And that was just leaving my finger on that button a little bit
Perfect.
longer. Front is done. back is done. So the whole thing's
Half
done.
the time, once again.
When it comes to the buttons, you know how difficult they can be.
Yes,
Feel the
especially
foam.
going in
this is
between
really thick, so they
Bouncy.
actually sink down into the foam. Suction again, leave your finger on, go up with steam, come back with a dry iron. Done.
Beautiful result.
When it comes to the sleeve, I actually like to come from the cuff. If you iron that sleeve now, you undoubtedly will get some creases form on the other
Yes.
side, and they get ironed in, and once they're in, they're in.
They're in.
Open the cuff as wide as you can, blow some steam down. How easy is that? See
Yeah,
that relaxing?
yes.
You can actually see the creases disappearing. So it's a good head start. Lay it flat,
And just finish it off.
use suction again.
Okay,
so
yes.
thumb on, and that's sucking the steam down. So you're not only doing the top, you're doing the bottom. So this half
So you
the
don't
time.
have to flick the sleeve
No,
and do the other side.
in fact, I'll show you. Just dry that off. That side is perfect. That
so
side
it's
is perfect.
perfect.
And the crease will be just magnificent again. Look at that.
Oh,
Now,
no
when you do the
complaints.
back, just the
Oh,
last
yes.
bit, lay it on, sort of toss it on, puff the board up so that you actually have an easier job of setting it out. So you don't have to...
That assists.
Yes, you don't have to stretch. And then just go up with steam, back with none, up with steam. So finger on the button going forward, finger off the button coming back. And the results, again, because that fabric's so dry, it won't re-wrinkle.
And you were saying you could leave your ironing in the basket for a week and you'd still have just as
That's
good
right.
results.
It will still come up really well. And as for getting used to that fan and what it will do, the features of the board, it's a little bit like learning to drive a manual car. You know, at first you're thinking about it. Honestly, it becomes second nature.
You just flick the button.
Go right ahead and do whatever's necessary. Do you know, Marianne, it's wonderful to have that peace of mind that it really doesn't matter what garment you buy, you know that you'll be able to deal with it with the Laurastar. And I'll show you something that's really one of those, goodness me, you're not going to iron that, are you, type garments. And I'm talking about Angora.
Yes, or in
Now,
fact most knitwear.
Well,
you
have a
wonder
think,
about ironing.
any knitwear, anything with a pile or a nap. So
Like
we're
velvet,
talking,
perhaps?
yes, we're talking velvet, we're talking suede, Angora, cashmere, velour, yeah,
They're all,
of those.
they're all fabrics of today too.
They are. They're
Yeah.
really in. And to iron that, ordinarily it would be a dry cleaner who you'd have to call in. However, one little tap, so there is cold air blowing up through the garment. Twist the iron a little bit sideways and look what that steam does for you. So it's just all in the wrist. It's lifting it up and it looks like a new garment all over again. Now the other benefit too is just a little shake maybe, just to make that stand up to attention. But all of the beading, if there's applique beading, any fancy work on the jumper, that won't be affected either because the steam will look after that. So when you think about the peace of mind that you have with older precious things.
Yes.
You know, if you spend a lot of money on your clothing, then you want a product that will look after it
Well,
for you.
that's right. They're investments, some clothing pieces,
are.
aren't they? And also gets rid of the mustiness if they've been
Yes.
stored for a while. What about a warranty? Because people will want to know that they've got a warranty and a service behind that.
Fabulous backup with Laurastar, 2-year warranty on labour and parts, they're free. We have a service centre in every major city in
Excellent.
Australia. We also have a 1800 helpline.
And there's somebody on that line?
There is, you talk to a person, and there's an instruction book that comes with it as well.
Okay, and of course they can see it demonstrated all around Australia all the time.
All over.
All right, well that's a great warranty you're offering there, Di. In a nutshell, if our viewers at home are thinking about purchasing a Laurastar Magic S4, why should they?
Well, I just think you deserve the best, and you're looking at the best. Laurastar, to me, does what a washing machine does for washing. So many years ago, poor ladies had to wash with a washer board.
Yes.
They tripped over themselves to buy a washing machine.
When they came out,
Yes,
yeah.
and look at what it did for them. Now, Laurastar, in terms of ironing, is the same. So if you were ironing with a normal iron, it's like ironing with a washer board.
Yeah.
If you have a Laurastar, it's like the washing machine. So you, in fact, do have a washing machine, a drying machine, an ironing machine with Laurastar. And what you're really investing in is time.
Well, Di, I'm convinced we've been talking about the Laurastar Magic S4. Why don't you say goodbye to the traditional iron, have a lot more time on your hands and a very professional ironing result. Tired of ironing the old-fashioned way? Conventional irons produce little or no steam, drip water and can scorch your clothes. Now with the Laurastar Magic S4 from Switzerland, you can achieve professional ironing results in half the time. With a powerful 50 pounds of constant steam pressure, the exclusive double-heated steam system and the amazing active board, the Laurastar Magic will iron all garments quickly and easily. Now you can vertically iron the creases from suit jackets, press woolen trousers without shining, iron 100% cotton business shirts, leaving them looking crisp and wrinkle-free. With the Laurastar, there's no need to change the temperature setting. By just adding our soft pressing sole plate, you can now iron all your delicates like silk, rubber transfers on t-shirts, nylon and synthetic garments, and eliminate burning and scorching forever. With the quality Swiss-made Magic S4 from Laurastar, you can achieve professional results on all garments in half the time. Now you can see the Laurastar Magic S4 demonstrated at David Jones stores Australia-wide.
I've had my Laurastar for 3 months now. I cannot believe how much easier it is to use this system in comparison to other systems.
I have a large family and I do a lot ironing. Since I purchased Laurastar, cut my ironing time and a half, and I spend more time with my family.
I'm the wardrobe mistress at our kids' school, and I get to iron some fairly awkward costumes. What I like about the Laurastar iron is that it helps me iron faster and easier than my old iron used to do.
With a family of 3 grown men, you can imagine how many business shirts I have to iron every week. But since having a Laurastar, I find it a breeze. It's the best investment I ever made, and I'd recommend it to anybody.
And I really, really love it, and I would recommend it to anybody.
This is an investment you won't regret. You'll cut your ironing time in half, save money, protect your clothes, and achieve professional ironing results just like your dry cleaner in your own home. Laurastar, you deserve the best.